What's up, cool kids? John here from What's Johnny Watching. So the other day, my friend Mel over at My Killer Podcast got together with the other two members of the Rad Pack, Justin at Watch Movie Daily and Garrett at Born to Be Rad, and they issued a challenge to us in the physical media community where they would like to see us put together 9 of the raddest movies that we had on repeat as kids that would shape us into who we are today. So, Mel, you have issued that challenge. Johnny accepts it. So I have here 9 of the raddest movies that I had on repeat as a kid, or as my parents would like to say, if you watch this shit one more time, we are going to disown you. So before I get into it, don't forget to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and click that notification bell. That way I can keep bringing you more of these. So without further ado, let's get into my 9. And I'm starting off with the movie that started all the zombie craze. Without it, we don't have The Walking Dead. We don't have Warm Bodies. We don't have Z Nation. None of that crap. And that's Night of the Living Dead. My parents first showed me this when I was a kid, just wanting to shut me up. It's a scary movie for a kid. And it would literally become my favorite movie of all time. I absolutely love this movie. You know, from the whole claustrophobia aspect of it. I just loved it. I loved it. I loved every bit of it. I don't know how many VHS tapes I wore out of it. But anytime I see this out in the wild, I have to pick up a copy of it. My dad, now he hates the movie because I used to watch it so much when I was a kid. But when I have the 4K of it, I've also got, Blu-ray and the 30th anniversary, where they added in extra footage when they really didn't need to. This 40th anniversary, even the shitty colorized version of it. I have to have it because I absolutely love this movie. And moving on from zombies, my next one is the movie that defined summer blockbuster, and that's Steven Spielberg's Jaws. I don't know what it was about Jaws when I first saw it, but I was immediately hooked to it, and I had to keep watching it. I remember I recorded it off of HBO or something as a kid, and I just kept watching it over and over and over again. And I had never been to the beach before, and that movie scared the hell out of me. I would not go to no, I don't want to go to the beach. I never wanted to go to the beach. And even to this day, I will not go that far into the water. I mean, I might go up to my ankles, maybe to my shins, but that's it. I won't go into it. I mean, that movie with, we had Robert Shaw and Roy Scheider and Dick Dreyfuss. I mean, it was just, those 3 guys going up against, an animal in the ocean and a 20-foot shark. I mean, it's got quotable lines from it that I still use to this day. I'm sure you guys use them too. We're going to need a bigger boat. And, the fingernails on the chalkboard. It's just absolutely amazing. I love that movie. And I've got it on Blu-ray, and I've got the 4K of it. I wish I still had my DVD that they released, I believe, in 2000. I wish I still had that one. But apparently, I think I got rid of it when I upgraded to the Blu-ray. Now, my third selection, it's the sequel to Romero's classic Night of the Living Dead, but even some people say this was better than that, and it's Dawn of the Dead. When I saw this on VHS, I had to rent it at Blockbuster. I never knew this movie existed, and then I just picked it up one day, and I'm like, is this a sequel? This can't be a sequel. And I just loved it. I mean, the whole aspect of, being locked inside, trapping yourselves inside of a mall, having everything at your disposal. That's what I liked about it. It's like a kid in a candy store aspect of it. So I fell in love. I think I kept that movie out for 2 or 3 weeks from Blockbuster because, they never showed it on TV. So that was my first experience with it. And I just kept it and just watched it over and over and over and over again. And I think my dad got so mad at me, he actually took that copy back to Blockbuster and took me off a At the time, you had to add your name to a restricted list for kids to rent restricted movies, and that movie right there alone was the reason why I was taken off of that. So I couldn't rent unrated or R-rated movies anymore. But for this I bought I have to have the DVD box set, the one that came out, and the second sight 4K of it. I absolutely love it. That's my second favorite Romero movie, behind the original Night of the Living Dead. Now, my next one is a classic. I absolutely wore the VHS tape out of this. It was a pop culture phenomenon. When I was on KB's the conversation, he asked me what movie was the one that made me fall in love with movies, and it was Ghostbusters. I mean, everything about that movie, from the soundtrack to the toys to the animated show, everything, I had to have it. I had to be a part of it. I remember renting that VHS from, it was a local video store. It was like a mom and pop video store. But every time we would go out, I would have to have a copy of Ghostbusters. My dad got sick of it so bad that he actually went out and rented me my own VHS player on weekends just so I could go to my room and watch that movie by myself. That way I wouldn't have to be in the family room or the living room or the den to watch that over and over again. My parents enjoyed it, but they really soured on it because I would watch that over and over and over and over again. It got to the point where I would actually take my mother's curling iron and grab a backpack and just make my own proton pack with it. It was just insane. I absolutely loved that movie. And I have to have it on Blu-ray. And yes, I got it in 4K. So yes, Ghostbusters, yeah, I wore that movie out. Moving on to my next one. It's a classic too. Everybody's seen it. But it's Back to the Future. I mean, what attracted me to Back to the Future, it was just the car itself. I loved the DeLorean. Then as I got older, I started to appreciate the story more. But it was just that car, that iconic car, along with Ecto-1, are probably two of the most iconic cars of the 1980s. Probably Kit 2 and the A-Team van. But just that DeLorean. Then when I got older, I started to appreciate the story more. If you had a time machine, would you go back, and to visit your parents and all that stuff? But I just absolutely love that movie, especially the song "The Power of Love" from Huey Lewis. It's just a great movie. Although I do have one question. This has bugged me for the last 35 years. And maybe you guys out there can answer it for me. But Doc Brown always said it was one pellet, one trip. So how the hell did Einstein get back? Maybe you guys can answer that in the comment section below. So, I do have the 4K of Back to the Future. I've got the DVD trilogy somewhere in this mess. But yeah, I had to have it. Moving on from Back to the Future to another movie that I absolutely love. It does not get the respect that it needs. And it was my first comic book film that I went to see. And it was Howard the Duck. Yes, it gets a lot of hate, but I don't give a shit. I love Howard the Duck. I remember when it first came out on VHS after I'd seen it in theaters, and I wanted to watch it again, but my parents would never take me to see it again. So I had to wait for it to come out on VHS. And I would just rent it every single weekend. And it got to be an obsession where I would just watch it over and over and over. I would have to have it. And I bought it on VHS, and when I moved from one place to another, it broke, and I began sobbing uncontrollably because I could never get another copy. But I did. I love the whole thing where the person comes, or an alien visitor comes, and he ends up saving the world. He makes a choice whether he can go home or to save this planet, this strange planet, who really doesn't like him, but he saves the world. Leah Thompson, I had a crush on Leah Thompson when I was a kid. I'm sure everybody else did too. I loved it. It's got, Academy Award winner in there with Tim Robbins, and Jeffrey Jones has his own problems. But still, I love Howard the Duck to this day. So I had to have the Blu-ray, and had to have the 4K. I still watch these. It's unbelievable. I still watch these. And moving on from that, from a lighthearted film about a crazy alien from another planet to one that's not so heartwarming, and it's David Cronenberg's The Fly. Now, a lot of people would consider this, horror. I've never considered this horror. I've always looked at, Cronenberg's The Fly as sci-fi / love story. I still look at it as a love story. But that was the first time that I saw makeup effects really stand out. A lot of people would say, oh, it's Rick Baker or Rob Bottin. But Chris Walas's and Stefan Dupuis' makeup in this movie still hold up. It's an amazing film. If you haven't checked out Cronenberg's The Fly, stop what you're doing and see if you can find that. I'm sure you can find it for purchase on streaming, or you can get the Shout Factory box set. But it's an absolutely amazing film. My brother, when we first saw this on HBO, my brother got maybe 30 minutes into it, and he decided, no, I don't want to watch this anymore. But it just, something about it just hooked me. I had to keep watching it. And I would begin to watch it over and over and over again. And it wasn't the whole gross out aspect that really attracted me. It was the pain and the suffering that Seth Brundle was going through from when he was a human to when he started transitioning to, a fly hybrid. And just him going, the pain and suffering, and then all the way up to, the very end, if you've seen it, where he makes that choice, with Veronica standing above him, he makes that choice to say that, I can't keep doing this. And just that ending is so heartbreaking. And it left an uneasy feeling in me, but it ended the way it was supposed to end. And I absolutely love this. And yes, I bought the box set because this is the only way I could get this on Blu-ray. I know we'll never see a 4K of it. Maybe Criterion or somebody can get their hands just on this one. I just want a 4K edition of this one. Moving from another creepy crawly to another is Aliens. Now, when I first saw Aliens, I didn't go to the theater to watch it. I saw it on, like everybody else, either renting it or VHS or on HBO. So I started watching it on HBO, and I thought this was the first, movie. I didn't know that this was a sequel to Ridley Scott's Alien. But I remember watching this as a kid, and I'm like, this is awesome. To me, I was a kid, this is better than Star Wars. I love this movie. The action and the creature effects and everything like that. And Sigourney Weaver actually proved that women could be badasses in cinema. She even got an Academy Award nomination for it. From the exosuits to even the quotable lines like, "Get away from her, you bitch." I still use that line to this day. And, Bill Paxton, "Oh, game over." Still use that. "We miss you, Bill." It's a great movie. And then, when I got older, yes, the story from Alien is better than Aliens, but Aliens is an overall maybe a better movie because of the whole, the effects, the action scenes in it and everything. That's what makes it a great movie. And that's what I kept watching over and over and over again. I love that damn movie so much. And so, yes, I do have the Blu-ray of it. I know the 4K of Aliens out, and I've heard rumors that they're going to release Aliens in 4K. Disney, hurry the hell up and get it done. And my last one, it is certainly not the least. This is a movie that shot this actor into superstardom, and he never looked back, and it's Die Hard. Die Hard was probably one of the last great action movies that I saw in the 80s when I was a kid in the 80s. I just like the whole aspect of, one man against, an army, and no one's there. No one's going to help him. He has to do it all on his own. He doesn't want to, but he has to. And the whole sky rise, jumping off the building and all the explosions and the catchphrase, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. Yeah, I absolutely loved it. I kept on this on repeat. This was the one movie that my parents did not mind me watching over and over and over again because they liked it too. But I absolutely loved it. There were times when I was a kid, I would act out scenes from this where I would just like hang off of an overhang and try to pull myself up, and I wasn't strong enough and I would fall and get hurt. And my dad would laugh at me and say, "That's what you get. Movies aren't real, kid." But I loved it. And I also, without Die Hard, we don't have Under Siege. We don't have Passenger 57. It's great. I love it. The sequels are, not as good as the original, but the original one still holds up. I absolutely love it. And yes, I do have it. I have the Blu-ray, and it took me forever to find this with a slip. So those are the 9 raddest titles that I had on repeat when I was a kid growing up that made me who I am today. Let me know down in the comment section below if you have any of these titles, or better yet, what are your 9 raddest titles that you had on repeat when you were a kid? Let me know down in the comment section below, or better yet, make your own video. Tag the Rad Pack in it. We would all love to see it. So, before I leave, I will leave links to Mel's and Garrett and Justin's page down in the description video. So if you're not subscribed to them, why not? What's wrong? Go ahead and subscribe to them. They make great content. So before I go, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Oh, and one more thing. What are you watching today?